What's up, people? So it's Chaz here. I just put together a masterpiece for you guys on why your VSL is killing your high ticket sales funnel. I'm going to jump right into the value on this video and hop over, but it's the same idea of when you pose the question of there's two personal brands, they have the same audience, same traffic, they make the same type of content. Let's say they even have the same exact sales team and they have the same email copywriter too. Why is one creator making $25K a month while the other creator is making $100,000 a month? And it always comes down to this exact same answer. And I'm gonna get into that right now. So I'm assuming you are a personal brand or info product seller, coaching, consulting, courses, right? And you're stuck at least under 50K a month, or maybe you're using a VSL and you want to scale and you're having trouble scaling. This video is gonna give you kind of a clear, concise idea on how you can tap into that next level and pull that next lever. So these are methodologies that I've gotten from spending 6 figures on consulting for this exact subject and on my own ad spend, testing every single type of funnel and managing multiple different types of creators in different niches. So this should be super valuable, and let me get right into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna be going over a few things here. Number one, I have this microphone with me to kind of look a bit more fancy, but this is the mechanism mismatch, and it's essentially why your conversion mechanism, which if you're watching this, it's probably a VSL or a type form application, is killing your high ticket sales funnel. And I'm also going to show you the exact mechanism that fixes it. So if your VSL is getting clicks but not booking high ticket calls or has a lot of unqualified leads, it's not your fault. You're suffering from what I call a mechanism mismatch. So it's a problem that's costing most coaches 90% of their potential returns. And in this presentation, I'll break down exactly what this is and why it's the single biggest bottleneck in your business, and also how to fix it. So this is for established experts who know their offer is worth 5K or more and want to scale their offer to 100K plus months without more work, more traffic, and whatnot. So let's get into it. Number one to start is who I am. So my name is Chaz Manalaz. I run Atlas Marketing. I kind of went over this already. The conversion mechanism I'm about to show you is used by Hormozi, Eamon Gadzhi, Grant Cardone. Literally the top 0.1% of experts use this for their largest launches. Hormozi just did $105 million off of a launch with this exact mechanism. So there's a reason the best don't mess around VSLs when real money is on the line. I run Atlas Marketing. We scale high ticket coaching consulting businesses to 6-figure months with this exact technique. This isn't theory, this is actual track record. So right here you can see we generated 68K in the span of a week for an offer off of one webinar. We booked a bunch of calls, absolutely crushed it. We've booked 50 qualified calls in one day for an 8K offer with only one webinar, and these weren't tire kickers, these were ready to buy leads. We've also generated 52K in a day for a client with only 20K followers and had their biggest revenue day ever using this exact mechanism. So yeah, essentially what you're doing right now is you're pouring economy fuel that's meant for a Subaru Outback, nothing against Subaru Outbacks, or maybe old Jeep Wrangler, right? You're pouring it into a Ferrari 488 Pista. So the mismatch is that you're using a low ticket sales tool for a high ticket transformational offer. You're using a mechanism designed for a $300 impulse purchase to sell a 10K transformation. And even when these people are hopping on sales calls, your closers are getting crushed with objections, and then you blame it on them. When in reality, it's not meant to sell 10K transformations. It can. I'm not saying you can't scale with this, but it doesn't nearly do it as effectively as what I'm about to show you. The same reason that top dogs are using this. A VSL is built for transactions, and your offer requires more belief shifting transformations. So when there's a mismatch between your mechanism and your offer, you don't just lose some sales, you lose 90% of them. So different price points require different conversion environments, right? Okay, so let me explain really quickly why VSLs fail at high ticket sales. VSLs are transactional by nature. That's why some big e-com brands are all running VSLs, right? They deliver information and I hope people get it through their organic traffic they already understood, or hoping these people are warm, or hoping they just understand the offer. But a 10K investment isn't transactional, it's transformational, like I said. And transformational decisions require 3 things that VSLs literally can't deliver. So certainty that it will work for them specifically, real-time objection handling, and trust through authentic interaction. So a VSL is polished and edited. High ticket buyers need to see the real you live, handling pressure and proving expertise. I saw one offer that my buddy was running, and the closers tested this thing once a week where they would bring on the offer owner for the first 15 minutes of the call. the owner of the offer, the face of the personal brand, right? They would bring him on the closing call for just 15 minutes out of the hour and literally tripled their closing rates because the prospect was live with the offer owner. So there's a way you can do this one to many instead of one to one like that. So, like I said, high ticket buyers need to see the real you live, handling pressure, improving your expertise. And VSLs create curious leads, but high ticket sales requires belief ready buyers, right? So they already believe in you and they trust you. And you can't turn curiosity into certainty through one way communication the same way this mechanism can. So, like I was saying, like with this mechanism, your sales team is going to absolutely love this. Like how that example, if they brought an offer owner onto the call and they tripled their close rates, it's going to be the same thing with the live conversions. Your closers are going to absolutely love it. Your close rates are going to skyrocket, and yeah, it's just amazing overall. The mechanism showing you here is a live webinar, or you can say live challenge funnels or whatever, which is really just the 3-day webinars. So let's talk about why webinars work for high ticket. So webinars are relational by nature, right? So when you teach valuable frameworks for 45 minutes to an hour and a half before you sell, something powerful happens. So people stop seeing you as trying to sell them and start seeing you as the expert who just transformed how I think about my problem, thought about my problem. You handle objections live as they come, Q&As in the chat, talking to these prospects live. And these people also carved out 2 hours of their evening to watch you live. So this is extremely important to them. These are hot leads. You answer one person's questions publicly and eliminate the objection for 50 others thinking the same thing. And here's the magic. So going live for 90 minutes, teaching complex concepts in a clear manner and handling objections on the fly, that takes real expertise in itself. So when prospects see you do that, they don't just believe your offer works, they believe you can deliver it. And that's one of the main components of any successful offer is the prospect believing in you, let alone the business model, the vehicle and themselves. So webinars don't just inform people, they transform people. And people who have been transformed, meaning their belief systems have shifted and been transformed into believing into you, those people are hot leads that always buy. These people are going to be coming to the calls with their credit cards in hand rather than a list of objections on a napkin that they wrote down after watching your VSL before the call, right? Like the result of this is that 20% of your attendees book calls versus VSLs, it's less than 2%. They show up pre-sold, like I said, your close rates skyrocket. They jump to 60 to 70%, and you scale to 100K a month. So this is just a really quick overview of what it would look like. I actually made this image with AI. Let's say you're doing like 20K a month, right? So same traffic, same offer, but it's 4x the revenue. So literally 100 qualified visitors for the VSL, 100 qualified visitors for the webinar. Only 2% book a call from your VSL. Let's say 50% close rate's good, right? We all know that sometimes it's lower. 5K per client, that's 5K a week, annual revenue, 260K a month or a year. Webinar, 40% show up live. So that's solid, right? That's normally on the better end. So you have 40% of people show up, 20% of those 40 people book a call. So that's 8 calls booked. Let's say it's the same 50% close rate. Let's say literally the same to keep it conservative. That's 4 sales. So 5K per client, that's 20K a week instead of 5K a week, literally 4x. And let's say you're running, a bi-weekly webinar instead. Still better, right? So the difference is nearly $800,000 per year. Switching to webinars is not enough though, and I'm going to go into really quickly why most webinars actually fail and what actually breaks them. So if you don't want to be like Peter Griffin right here and just staring at your computer wondering what happened after you just switched your entire funnel over to a live webinar, carved out time and it didn't work, I'm going to go into what will break the results for a webinar and actually make your experience terrible. So we're going to go into the 3 failure points. So what most people get wrong is they think fixing the mechanism mismatch is as simple as switching from a VSL over to a webinar. And it's not, because most webinar attempts fail in 3 very, very predictable ways. First, wrong script structure. So your script is literally what can make it a 5% book call rate to a 30% book call rate, right? They wing it or use generic templates without understanding the psychological journey required. Second is the cold traffic problem. So sending 100% to cold traffic off rip kills your show rate at 15%, right? It destroys your economics because you're not taking advantage of your warm audience first, and that'll allow you to understand, what messaging that your ICP resonates with these live events first off. Otherwise, you're just going to burn money and have terrible show up rates. Third is weak offer presentation. So you were pitching like you're reading a brochure instead of systematically building desire and eliminating objections. You didn't really prep for it. You thought you could just go out there and wing it and it would print. So a webinar is not just a little presentation. It's literally a entire belief building system that needs the right script, the right traffic strategy, the right offer presentation, and the right follow-up system. Like, you don't see people show up to TEDx talks with no preparation and just wing it, right? It never happens. People who go on to TED Talks, they've been doing that keynote speech for literally years. They know it in their head. They know what resonates with people. So yeah, you need the script, the right traffic strategy, the right offer presentation, and one of the most important things is the right follow-up system. So even after the webinar ends, whoever didn't book and you don't follow up on them, you're leaving 50% of the revenue on the table. Whoever didn't show up to the webinar are still really, really hot leads. You can send them the webinar recording. You can follow up with them, cold call people immediately after the webinar who didn't book calls, get your setters ready, get your closers ready, and follow up like a mother effort, because you can leave an extra 50% of revenue on the table by not doing this. Even if you have a small amount of followers, you can really, really juice this live presentation. This is essentially the 4-part system that literally just turns webinars into money printing machines, right? So I'm going to go over system number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I already touched on this a little bit, but system number 1, and I just made a video on system number 1. I will actually put it on the screen right above my face, or right next to my face, and it's just going to be the 14-step framework to build the perfect webinar script. And this is based off of Hormozi's $100 million launch. So this is actually what works, the complete webinar system. So system 1 is the trust-proof script, not just any webinar, but the 14-step framework that systematically builds certainty, eliminates objections, and creates urgency in 90 minutes, right? So this is the exact sequence that Hormozi used to do $105 million in the span of 24 hours and break the Guinness Book of World Record. And yeah, Russell Brunson built ClickFunnels to $250 million a year, $250 million a year, and he built it off the backbone of webinars. He created the perfect webinar script. He literally built the software ClickFunnels from the ground with webinars, which is unbelievable. And yeah, in that video, I'll go through like the 5 to 7 closes that are needed at the end of the webinar, how to get anywhere from a 15 to 40% call booking rate. So go from like 10% booking rate to 30, 40% booking rate. And yeah, but like I said before, that video is right there. So system 2 is the traffic strategy. So a hybrid approach combining organic audience, content remarketing with around 15 to 20 touch points, and email sequences that get 50 to 60% show rates instead of 15%. So your copywriting, your email marketing, SMS, and so on and so forth, your webinar sales page is going to be super, super important here. So you don't need to run ads or like hammer them ads, right? You can just do organic, but you need to be collecting tons of contacts. The way we do it is we structure it so starting 5 to 7 days out, we're sending 2 to 4 emails out a day, a text every single day. Then 24 hours leading up, we go even harder. Next is the offer presentation, like I kind of mentioned. So strategic anchoring, bonuses that exceed the core price, risk reversal that eliminates fear, and legitimate scarcity, not fake urgency. So we're talking about killer offers. You need to give them a reason to be at this webinar. Like, you know, them being in this live webinar gives them a 50% discount on your mid-ticket offer, something like that. Actually building scarcity, maybe getting a former student on to talk about their experience. That's where like the 5 to 7 closes come in, because you can close 5 to 7 times in the last 15, 20 minutes, because each close hits a different ICP who has different motives for buying, right? So you can do emotional closes, logical closes, scarcity closes, all those types of things. Number 4, the follow-up system. So because 30 to 40% of revenue comes from replays, re-engagement, pop-up events, SMS, email, following up after, when all 4 systems work together, you don't just replace your VSL, you 4 to 6x your revenue. So like you could absolutely not take any of this advice, go run a webinar and probably do the same numbers you're doing right now. Or when you use these 4 system pillars, you can 4 to 6x your revenue, which is unbelievable. So if this made any sense to you and you think you could pull this off, if you can get around at least like 150 plus registrants onto a webinar and attending this, then it should be a no-brainer for you to run this up. Every day you delay fixing this mismatch, it's costing you literally a potential $70,000 a month in revenue, especially if you're at like that 30K a month mark with your VSL funnel. So based on the math I showed you earlier, that means you should be doing 100K a month with the correct mechanism and if you structure the webinar correctly. So over the next 12 months, you could add an extra 900 grand if you're doing, you know, at least a bi-weekly webinar, because you're using the wrong conversion environment and you're still finding some success. So I'm not saying these things are magic, but if you have a proven offer, a hungry market, good warm traffic, the ability to present on camera with confidence, and if you have those things and you're still stuck at 20 to 40K a month, the mechanism is your problem. It's not your offer, your market, your sales team, your traffic. it's your mechanism. The good news is that it's fixable. All right, people. So if you made it this far in the video, then webinars are probably a fantastic fit for you. Hopefully I didn't freak you out because I just put on a new hoodie. But I just want to add this in here because the last video people asked about having this as a done for you. So I just want to throw my offer out there at the end of the video, especially if you made it till here, then this probably is a good fit. So we will literally build a proven webinar system that adds $50,000 plus in new revenue in 60 days, or you do not pay. This done for you rapid webinar launch gets your webinar live and converting in the span of 15 days. So obviously I just went through everything, but if you did make it to the end of this video, then this clearly is a no-brainer. Like, webinars literally just convert 10x higher based off of everything I just listed. It's proven. It's why Hormozy did his $100 million launch and broke the Guinness Book of World Records with webinars. And it's why so many other big players in the space use this. So we will literally handle everything for you. Here's all you have to do. Show up once or twice a month and present live for an hour to an hour and a half and watch some money rake in. So if that sounds fun to you, then book a call below. It's just a call with me personally. Just chop it up, see where you're at, not some like Jordan Belfort high pressure sales call. And yeah, see if you'd even be a good fit to run this. But if you made it here, you probably are. And we will literally handle all of this for you, right? Like literally everything here. And this is all to make sure that you absolutely maximize this. And the 50K is on the low end. Like if you have good traffic, it could be double or triple that, right? So if that's interesting, book a call below and hopefully we can talk soon. See you next week.